Hello and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer, the board game review show that's not afraid to take on a controversial stance. COVID is bad. I don't care who cancels me after I said that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at my top 100 games of all time. Today we're going to take a look at 80 through 71. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's just jump right into it, shall we? Number 80 is Aliens Bug Hunt from Upper Deck. This came out just a few months ago. Played it, really enjoyed it. Do have a caveat here. The rulebook as it comes with it is just stupid because it divides the learning the game up among the 4 players, and it's hard to learn that way. And it was really tough to figure out. And I think on Board Game Geek they've got kind of a full rule book on there. But this was just a really fun kind of dice combat game. It was fairly light, but it was still incredibly engaging. It was incredibly tense. As you're the Marines, you're going in, you're laying down tiles, you're trying to meet your objectives and not get killed by the aliens. Really enjoyed it. That was Aliens Bug Hunt, my number 80 from Upper Deck. My number 79 is a game that came out several years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, that was just an absolute delight based on an IP that I really enjoyed. This is Sons of Anarchy, Men of Mayhem. Sons of Anarchy was a great TV show. I really enjoyed it. And the game was fun. It's kind of a combination of worker placement and dudes on a map. You had combat, you had direct combat, you had dice combat. And it was fun because, you place your guys where you wanted to do something, but then somebody else could bring his guys there, and you have kind of a rumble, you have a fight. And then of course you've got contraband, you've got money, you've got these different guns, you've got these different things you're trying to trade to make money and convert. So it's very Euro-y, but it's also had that direct conflict. It's one of the best kind of hybrids of a Euro and a dudes on the map I've ever played. That one was a lot of fun too. So that is my number 79, Sons of Anarchy, Men of Mayhem from Gale Force 9. My number 78 is a chess variant that I enjoyed very much. This is The Duke from Catalyst Game Labs. I actually bought this game years ago, never played it, sat on my shelf, and then I think it was just earlier this year when I was in Texas, I think Han came over and I told him I had it, and he says, oh yeah, let's play it. So he showed me how to play it, and I fell in love with it. It's great because you got the chess tiles that tell you right on there how the pieces move and attack, and then you move them, and then as soon as you move them or attack them, you flip them over to another side, and they become an entirely different chess piece with a different movement and attack. So you're constantly trying to keep track of not only what your pieces are doing, but what your enemies are doing as well. And as you do this, I mean, so much of the game is just forgetting what a piece does, and then it comes back to screw you. And I really, really enjoyed it. So this is The Duke. That is my number 78 from Catalyst Game Labs. My number 77 is another chess variant. This is Knightmare Chess. Knightmare Chess from Steve Jackson Games is a game where you actually have cards, and you get these cards that have various powers on them, abilities on them, that kind of enhance some of your chess pieces or put new chess pieces on the board or just do all sorts of fun and kooky things. I've told this story before, but years ago when I was at the theater, other guys were playing this backstage and I didn't get it. I was like, I just want to play chess. This is kind of dumb. And then years later, when when my board gaming palette rather expanded, I was kicking myself. I was like, gee, I wish I'd played that. That sounded like fun. And then they did the reprint on this a few years ago, and I played it, and I fell in love with it. So Knightmare Chess, a fantastic game. That is my number 77 from Steve Jackson Games. My number 76 is Hannibal and Hamilcar. Hannibal and Hamilcar. Now, this is based on the original Avalon Hill Hannibal. This is the update from Phalanx Games, and this one is really cool. It's got just beautiful minis, great looking cards, beautiful board. It's a fantastic production, but it's a really good game of not only kind of military action, but also kind of political domination. And critically throughout the game, you've got a card play. You're playing cards for events, but then maybe you also want to play them for the point values to give you operational points to move and to exert political control. And that was fun. And then on top of that, you have the card play of the battles, which is really fun because it's that game. It's that kind of card play where you would match cards. You know, I play right flank, then you got to play a right flank. Then I play a center, then you got to play a center. And as soon as somebody can't match, then that side loses. And then depending on how many cards you played, that kind of kind of figures out kind of what casualties are going to be. Tremendously fun game. Hannibal and Hamilcar. That is from Phalanx Games. My number 75 is an old classic. This is Ticket to Ride. Ticket to Ride. I played a few of the Ticket to Ride titles. I think I probably still like the original best. The Europe one I liked a lot, but I think the more I played them, I think I like just the original best. I've got the Anniversary Edition, which has got the fun little cars and stuff like that. But this is just a great family game. It's a great introductory game, and it's fun. Every time I play it, I really enjoy it. I really get a kick out of it. I like it probably more than I would think I would, but I do enjoy Ticket to Ride, and I don't play it enough. It's one of these games that you think, I got to play that again. I got to play that again. But every time I play it, I have a ball. I really enjoy Ticket to Ride, and I was kind of late to the party on it. It was one of those games that everybody else had played, and I hadn't. I was kind of the same way with Catan, and when I finally got a chance to play it, I really, really enjoyed it. So Ticket to Ride, my number 75, that is from Days of Wonder. My number 74 is a game that was very controversial. Because a lot of people think it's going to be a traditional dudes on the map game, and it's anything but. And this is Ancient Civilizations of the Inner Sea. Ancient Civilizations of the Inner Sea is a great game because it looks like it's going to be the civilization building dudes on a map game. But in fact, it is really just to take that game. It's really a game of just how much can I screw with other people, because you're playing these cards that maybe sets off a volcano in somebody else's civilization, so they lose their power, they lose their discs. And they lose all sorts of resources and whatnot. And that's just a fun game. And I like this game because it is so mean. Now, I played it with the 6 players, and I got to tell you, that is way too much. You want to play one of the lower player counts and maybe one of the scenarios, because it will go on forever if you got the full 6 players and you're trying to play the full game. So, but it's fun. It's tremendously fun. I really enjoyed Ancient Civilizations of the Inner Sea. That's from GMT Games. My number 74. My number 73 is kind of a gimmicky game that came out a couple of years ago, and it's got such a dumb premise, but it's so much fun, and I really got a kick out of it. I actually got this game. I played it down in Texas, and then I actually got a copy for Zach, I believe, and we played it when I visited Zach when I came up here, a year or two ago. I guess it was summer of 19, I think, when I was on my research trip. And this is Axis and Allies and Zombies. Axis and Allies and Zombies is just a hoot. It's so much fun because you're fighting these battles, but your casualties, your infantry casualties, come back as zombies. And so as you're fighting each other, the great powers, the Axis and the Allies are fighting, you're also fighting the undead. And you have these zombie outbreaks that happen in places. And it's a great way because you're trying to find ways to use the zombies against your opponent without getting screwed over yourself. And it's a fun new spin on a classic. And, I played... I recently got rid of a lot of my Axis and Allies stuff because I got another game that kind of supplanted it, which you'll see later in this list. But I kept this one because I really liked that theme of that horror aspect to it. It was a lot of fun, and it was really unexpected, and I really enjoyed Axis and Allies and Zombies. That's from Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, Avalon Hill. That was my number 73. My number 72 is from GMT Games. This is Time of Crisis. Time of Crisis is a great kind of Roman Empire game, but what makes this one cool is it's a deck builder. It's got a deck building aspect of the game as you are trying to ward off barbarians, as you're trying to defeat your enemies. There's a military aspect to it, and then there's a political aspect. You've got these political tracks you're trying to move up on, but different factors can affect it. But it's hard. It's this deck building, and you use the cards to do the different things. Well, do I want to do a military action, or do I want to do a political action, or construction, or whatever? And you play those different cards. You take those actions depending on the cards you have in your hand. It was a lot of fun, and again, this is one I haven't played in a while, and I got to play it again because it was fantastic. I know they did an expansion to it. I have not played the expansion. It's one I think at some point I'm gonna have to pick up, but I got to play the original again a few more times. But I really got a kick out of this game. This is Time of Crisis. That is my number 72 from GMT Games. My number 71 is another zombie game. This is Dead of Winter. Dead of Winter, and probably more precisely The Longest Night. This is a great zombie game, but it kind of goes beyond the traditional zombie tropes, because you got that. Well, first of all, you got that one killer die, and every time you move from a location, you're rolling that die, and you're just praying it doesn't screw you over, because if it does, it's terrible, and you dread rolling that die every time. I think it was Quinn's on Shut Up and Sit Down, so that was like the cruelest die ever put in a board game, and I think he may be right. But what, to me, makes this game really shine is that crossroads system. The idea that every time it's your turn, another player reads a card and will give you a choice. And it makes the game feel kind of personal for each player, because there's the grand narrative of trying to go ahead and take out the zombies, but then there's that kind of personal choice of, well, what do I want to do here? And then you add onto that what there's kind of a hidden traitor mechanic with the game, because you have your individual you each have your own individual goals that you're trying to achieve, but one of you maybe wants the colony to fail, and you don't know if somebody's doing something because he's just trying to meet a specific objective or because he deliberately wants the colony to fail. But either way, it's fantastic. I love Dead of Winter. I think it does a fantastic job, and I was kind of upset because we were told when Dead of Winter came out we're going to see more games with the Crossroads system, and I don't think we have, other than the two Dead of Winter games. I don't think we've seen any other implementation of the Crossroads system. Let me know if it was out there and I missed it, but I can't think of one. But anyway, that is my number 71, Dead of Winter. That is from Plaid Hat Games. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that does my 80 to 71. If you have any comments you want to let me know. If you like the games on my list, you don't like them, I'm sure there's a lot of people that won't care for one or two of them. Please let me know. I'm always eager and excited to hear what your thoughts are. Keep it civil. Also, ladies and gentlemen, please like this video, subscribe to us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on leave comments for us, what have you. We always appreciate that. And if you like military history and you want to kind of engage with that, World War II and books on World War II, please check out my other channel. That is Cody Carlson, PhD, and please subscribe to that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, really, again, thank you very much. And I got to tell you, with COVID, I've washed my hands so much in this last year that I swear the exam notes I had from 1996 are starting to resurface. Please somebody help me on my feet again, and I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band. God knows that I love to fight, but I don't ever win. It's a fine line.
I bet his #1 game is going to be Truth or Dare, so he's trying to get me to play that with him.